Hello. This webcast video will demonstrate the F1 context-sensitive documentation feature in APL64. The purpose of this feature is for displaying the programmer documentation for a particular APL64 element. As always, make sure to send in your comments to this video to support@apl2000.com. Your feedback is appreciated. Also be sure to check out the other webcast videos for the APL64 software at www.apl2000.com. So let's go ahead and get started with describing the F1 Key Context-Sensitive Documentation feature in APL64. Documentation is directly available from the APL64 Developer GUI session. The documentation is normally accessed in the Help menu. For example, you can click the Help menu, then the APL Language menu to display the list of documentation that are related to the APL language. And here's the list of documentation related to the Developer Version GUI in the Help, Developer Version GUI menu. But were you aware that it was possible to have the documentation display for a particular APL64 element while in the APL64 GUI session? Well, it is. And it is easily done with the F1 keyboard key. But do note that the F1 context-sensitive documentation feature is only functional in the history, APL command line and the function editor in the APL64 session, that are highlighted in green in this image. This feature is not supported in the variable editor. For example, let's say you were interested in reading up on Domino. You would simply enter Domino in the history like in this example, leave the caret immediately after or before it, and click the F1 key. Pressing the F1 keyboard key results in the information displayed in the APL64 Developer Version instance status bar that is identified here with the red arrows. This indicates that documentation of this particular APL64 element is in the process of being retrieved for display in the user's default browser. After a brief moment, the documentation for Domino will be displayed in the user's default Windows browser as demonstrated here. Thank you for viewing this video. If you have questions or comments, please contact support@apl2000.com.